Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Olu-Ojo. I film about faith, family and lifestyle as a Nigerian living in Australia. So I welcome you and I hope that you stay. If you are returning, welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, I want to talk you through childcare services in Australia, as well as give you an overview of the educational system here in Australia. So if you're interested, please keep watching. So if you are new to Australia or you're planning to come in soon and you have young children, I can imagine that getting them settled in school or in daycare is at the top of your mind. So I'm hoping to give you guys the basic information you need around childcare and school to set you in the right path and help you make your decisions well. So let's start by discussing the types of childcare services that we have. So we have three. So there's family daycare, there's the center-based daycare, and there's also babysitters or nannies. So let's start by discussing the center-based daycares. When I say center-based, that just means that they have designated locations in different parts of Australia, and they are all regulated by the state government, and they offer majorly three kinds of services. Let's start with long daycare. So long daycare just means that they provide care for your children during regular working hours or regular weekdays, which is Monday to Friday. So every day that you're at work, you can drop your kids off on your way to work and after work, and they'll be well cared for during those hours that you're away for. So Monday to Friday, regular weekdays, regular working hours is what center-based daycare is referred to as long daycare. There's also occasional or casual daycare, and what that means is that if you work unpredictable hours or you have a shift-based job where you're not working every day, you only work a few days in a week, you only work a few hours in a day, you can put your child in for casual daycare or occasional daycare. Now, bear in mind that not every center provides this option. Some will and some wouldn't. So you have to find out. If your job is such that you don't have to get your kid in every day, you definitely want to consider casual daycare because you'll be paying less. There's also before and after school care, which is majorly designed for kids who are already in primary school and the parents can't afford to or don't have the time to drop them at school time or pick them up when school closes. So what that would entail is on your way to work in the morning, you drop your kid off at daycare and head to work. So the daycare organizes a way for them to get to school when school starts. The same thing for when school closes, you're still at work. The daycare will go and pick them up from school and keep them till you're able to pick your child up from daycare. Also bear in mind that when I say before school, it doesn't just mean that your kid will just sit down there waiting around till it's time for school. There will be activities around that time of the day before they get sent off to school. The same thing when they are picked up from school, there will be a few light activities and snacks for them before you can pick them up. So that's it about center-based daycares really. So discussing family daycare now, that's what it means. It's self-explanatory. It just means that an approved childminder or educator cares for your children in a home or family environment. So they provide services from the comfort of their own homes. Now, some parents prefer this because of that home style environment. You know, it's probably less noisy than a center-based daycare, probably lesser people, lesser children, and you get the vibe that your kids are being well attended to because the setting is a home setting. Even some children seem to be more settled in family daycare. So depending on the kind of child that you have or the kind of needs that you have as a parent, you can consider your options. Do you want to do a center-based daycare or do you want to put them in a family daycare? Like I said, there's also babysitters and nannies. If you work from your home and you feel like you might have too much divided attention, you can get a nanny to come in and watch your children. There are also options for nannies who can stay with you for really long hours. So just check all that depending on your family needs. So bear in mind that childcare is completely optional and majorly based on your needs as a parent. That's it. And just because childcare can be very, very expensive, you want to consider that really well before you put your kids into daycare. So if mom works full-time and is making enough money, daddy can stay at home and watch the children. If dad works full-time, whether it's not even if it's part-time, but he makes enough money for the family, mom can stay and watch the children because childcare can be very expensive. Also, depending on your residency status or your visa type, you may be eligible for some support. You may get some benefits as well as childcare subsidies for your child. And it is also largely dependent on your income and your kind of job. And the amount that you get for supports would start to reduce if you earn more. So the more you earn, the less you get, and there will come a time where you won't get any support at all because you now earn enough money. So just find out what you're eligible for, find out what subsidies you can get to support you if your child has to be in daycare. Now, in terms of choosing your choice of daycare, you want to consider a few things. First of all, you don't want your child's daycare to be too far away from your home or from where you work, so you have easy access to picking them up in case of an emergency. So just bear that in mind. You also want to look at quality rankings online as well as parent reviews of the childcare centers. That will help you make a good decision as to if you want to put your child in that daycare center. Speak to family, speak to friends, ask them questions, ask them what they think if they have their kids enrolled in the center that you are considering. These are all things to bear in mind. Also bear in mind that you are allowed to go on a tour of the center. So if you find a center-based one that you like, you can let them know that you want to come in and have a tour. You can even go with your child or children to have a feel of the environment, to see what the minders and educators look like, to see if you really like the environment and if your spirit is, in tune with the atmosphere there. That's something you can also definitely do. They won't stop you from having a tour of the center if you want to. So yeah, I think that's all I need to cover around center-based daycare. The same thing with family daycare actually. I believe that you can let them know you want to just see what their home looks like and see if you're comfortable keeping your child there. Bear in mind that all childcare services are regulated, so there's a maximum number of children that any center is allowed to have, which will definitely reduce your worry as a parent. So there's structured programs, there's learning activities for every child, and this is regulated by the state government here in Australia. So that's definitely something that would lessen your concern as a parent. I believe I have covered all I need to about childcare services, but I will attach a few links for you to go through if you need any more information and you'll find them helpful. So let's move on to the educational system here in Australia. So school system here in Australia ranges from the ages 4 to 16 or 17, and the grade is kindy, which is kindergarten to year 12. So kindergarten starts from the age of 4. Once your child clocks the age of 4, they are able to start school. But then kindergarten is optional here. They do not insist on you enrolling your child in kindergarten. Some parents choose to homeschool during this period. You only have to enroll your child in school from pre-primary, which is right after kindergarten. You are obliged to enroll your child in school, except you are doing homeschooling. I will also discuss that later on. But kindergarten is optional. If you choose to put your child in kindergarten, it is 3 days a week or 5 days a fortnight, depending on your state, depending on the school. But it is not every day for children who have just clocked 4 years old. It is either 5 days a fortnight or 3 days a week, and it is play-based. They just learn a few painting, drawing, coloring, ABCs and 1, 2, 3. So they don't really insist, and kids are still quite attached to their parents at that age, so it's not full-time for kindergarten. But right after kindergarten is pre-primary to year 12, and at that time it's every day in the week, Monday to Friday, your kids have to be enrolled in school. Okay. Next thing to note is types of schools. So we have public schools, private schools, and religious schools, as well as homeschooling. So let's start with homeschooling. That just means what it says. You school your child from home. So you have the syllabus, you have the program that your child needs, and you dedicate that time to teach them from home. Every exam that your child has to do to move to the next level, your child will also have to do, even though you are homeschooling. So you have to know that you're capable of homeschooling your child and be mentally available, as well as available in every sense of the word for your child to homeschool from home. The next one will be public schools, which 95% of parents here send their kids to because they are of good standard. When I say good standard, it means that they are all relatively good, of good standard. That's what it means. But bear in mind that no matter how good a public school is, there's most likely schools that are better, you know, so just bear that in mind. And schools are in different suburbs, and you would have to enroll your child based on your suburbs. So the school nearest to where you live is where you have to enroll your child in. I think I need to track back a little bit. I hope I don't get you guys confused. I want to go back to childcare services. The documents you would need to enroll your child in daycare would include their immunization records. So a child will not be enrolled in daycare except they are fully vaccinated. So just bear that in mind, please. So you will need their vaccine records, their birth certificate, as well as an application form. If your child needs to be in daycare, please enroll them as soon as you can, because there will most likely be a waiting list. It gets really busy, you know. So the earlier you enroll them, the better. As soon as you know that your kid has to be in daycare, please get them registered ASAP. So let's go back to school system. I believe I was talking about the types of schools. So I mentioned how that public schools are very free, except for a few bills here and there. They call them voluntary contributions, but as a parent, it's a very small token. You're encouraged to pay. It's not so much. Right now, I think that the voluntary contributions in my kids' school is about $100 for a whole year. So that's not too much. They would pay for their own textbooks and stationery. You're responsible for getting them all of that before they start the school year. You also pay for things like field trips, excursions, or small school projects that they might have in school. So I was saying that they are all relatively good quality, but then you want to consider a lot of things. You can check quality rankings online, as well as parents' reviews about the school. Most parents here would not choose where to live until they know what school they want to enroll their kids on, based on family recommendations, based on what other people are saying online and things like that, you know. So there's always levels to these things, you know. Even though all public schools are good, just consider the kind of school you're sending your kids to school. Some parents have had bad experiences in public schools and things like that. So just really take your time to ask questions, check out reviews and rankings online before you decide what school you'll be enrolling your child in. Okay, so let's discuss private schools. They are said to be better than public schools because they are private and more attention is given to the programs and things like that. Some parents who are big on Christian values will choose to enroll their kids in either a Christian school, a religious parent, and you want your kids to have those religious values they might not get in a public school. You can consider putting them in a private school that will teach them all the religious values and doctrines you want them to have. Not many parents are really keen on that, but if you are, definitely consider that. There's a wide range of private schools, but they can be very expensive, from 4,000 to 10,000 per year for a private school. So if you have 4 children and you have the capability of putting them all in a private school, why not? So just ensure that you're making the right decisions. Like I always say, they are all majorly based on reviews and rankings that you will find on different sites online. So if you want them to be at the very best schools, you can put them there, either the very best public schools or the very best private schools. So just consider all of those factors. Now for public schools, you would have to apply to the schools nearest to you. I'm not sure if I have said this before, but if you're living in a suburb called Rivers, for example, and it's a public school, your kid has to go to the school in that suburb, if you see what I mean. So yeah, this is an overview, guys. I may not have covered every single thing about the educational system, but I will put down the link for the Ministry of Education down in my description box. I also have a few links around childcare services that I will include in my description box. I hope you have found a few things informative in this video. So yeah, I'll be in the comment section. If you have any questions I can answer, I will answer them. And if you have anything else you want me to share with you guys, let me know down in the comment section. So that is the end of this video, guys. I really hope that I'm not missing anything out, but that's it for this video, and I will see you on the next video, guys. Bye.